Hello, welcome to this episode of Real Freedom. On this episode, we are going to learn how to make meatballs with tomato sauce. Yes, today we are going to do some cooking together. Come with me, let's start. So, the ingredients you need to make this delicious meal is Parmesan cheese, meat, crumbs of bread, pieces of bread that are left over, and garlic, eggs, onions, and any other spices you want to add to it. Yes. So I'm putting all the ingredients together in one bowl to mix together. This is how I make my meatballs with sauce. It's a very simple recipe. It's just to pay attention to get the right ingredients and the taste. If you have eaten it before in a restaurant, so the same taste, to have the original and the traditional taste of it. So I'm doing a voiceover because of the noise around when I was preparing the food. So it was actually for dinner. So I'm doing voiceover. If there is anything I did not mention, it's going to be on the screen so you can read properly and write them down so that you don't make mistakes. For the sauce, you need tomatoes and add any other thing like oil, normal, And what you have to do, first of all, mix the eggs together with the meat smooth. Then you add the Parmesan the Parmesan cheese. You add it to it together. You squeeze out the water on the bread because we are soaking the pieces of bread that is left over for days or for weeks. So you can see the Parmesan cheese and also the board where I slice a little pieces of garlic, cutting it into pieces to add to it. So this is how it is done. You can decide to crush it, like I said. So you need garlic or you replace with something else. I know some people don't like garlic. Yes, and also I added pepper to mine. A bit of pepper I added to mine. So this is it. So after mixing them together, you leave everything to marinate, and before you start making the sauce, you make the sauce and later you start to cut and form a ball with the meat, grated meat mixed with all the ingredients inside. So you are going to see how I make all those things in this video. So don't mind the voice, you can just follow. I see what I do. Thank you. So you have to preserve the bread for sometimes, picking them together, and for when you want to make something like this, there are different ways to make use of those things. You can turn them into crumbs bread, and in this case you have to soak them inside water overnight or for few hours. Then you squeeze out the water, melt them, add them to the bowl with the Parmesan cheese and any other thing you need to add to it that is on the list, the recipe. You put them together, then you mix them very well. Make sure they are smooth and let them, all the spices, everything you need to. In my own, I added pepper, that is a habanero pepper that is grated. Yes, or you can use any kind of chili pepper, cayenne pepper, and so on, because we don't want it to be cold. We need something hot in it. The garlic is crushed, or you don't need to grind it smoothly. You can use pieces or onions, cut it very small and add it to it too. It's good if you do it that way too. You can see that I added a little of grated pepper, fresh pepper to mine, and I mix them very well. Then you leave them to marinate. While you leave them to marinate, you cover it and keep it somewhere in the fridge for like 30 minutes to 1 hour. Then you come back and you prepare the sauce. While you are preparing the sauce, which will take about few minutes, and you make the balls, you have to start to make the ball, roll it. You roll the balls like small balls around, like what I'm doing on this video. So as you roll the balls, you begin to keep them in a clean bowl. Then after you finish rolling them, you decide to add them to the sauce you are cooking. There should be enough water. The sauce should be watery because these meatballs will take time to cook. You add them to the meatball, and the first time you hide the fire. You add the fire till everything is boiled. You see where I am now. Then I need a lot of more water in here because they need water to cook. So after then, I will arrange the meatballs inside this sauce that I've made with the normal way you make sauce. So what I do is this. So after you cover it with high fire, and then you can reduce it when it started boiling up. Then you reduce the fire, and you reduce the fire and cover it, leave it to cook so that the meat can cook inside. I have to prepare the oven pan to make the leftover of the balls that could not enter the pot. So I make them differently so that they can last longer. They will not easily spoil if I use the oven on them. So this is another way to make meatball. You make the same rolling, and you just cover them with the crumb of the bread, and that is it. This is the pan I'm going to use for the rest of it. I'm going to use oven to cook the rest of it. Maybe next time I will make a video how I made this type. It's quite different. This is just different from the other one. Yes. So we have to put water and add salt to it to prepare spaghetti that we are going to use to eat this meatball sauce. So this is another way to make meatballs without using sauce, tomato sauce or any liquid. You just arrange them, use the scrum bread to cover them like the way you make chicken from the KFC. So that is another thing for another day anyway. So now they have cooked. I've started removing them from the sauce because I need the sauce for spaghetti. We are going to make spaghetti to eat the sauce. So you saw me putting water in the spaghetti pot to make spaghetti. So we are going to eat this with spaghetti sauce, which is already made automatically through the meatball. Yeah, so this is the meatball ready. This is the remaining sauce. We have to put spaghetti on this and use the sauce from the meat also. So this is it. Our meatballs are ready to eat. So this is how we make the meatballs. So enjoy your meal. God bless you for watching. Thank you so much for coming into our kitchen.